Hello out there everybody, welcome back to the AOG Lifestyle channel. And today's video we're going to be talking about something that if you grew up in a Christian household, you probably heard this countless times. Now son or daughter, you know the Bible says you must honor your parents and obey them. Yes, the Bible does say that. It really does. But they're leaving something out. In today's video I'm going to tell you exactly what they were leaving out so that when you have kids, or if you have kids, you will understand the full picture of what exactly the Bible is talking about. Alright, so let's go ahead and read the verse that your parents were quoting you growing up, because you probably at times thought, nah, the Bible doesn't say that, but it does. So, Ephesians chapter 6, we're going to read verses 1 through 3 because it all deals with exactly what your parents were talking about. It says, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. So let you know a little secret, I didn't always do this. Anyways, let's keep going. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with promise. Didn't always do that either. But let's keep going. That it may be well with you and you may live long on the earth. This last part definitely makes sense. It's putting it into practice. Because if you disobey your parents when they tell you not to cross the road in front of your house because it's a highway and you get hit and hurt or killed, it is probably going to go back to where the Bible said, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Because if you'd obeyed them, you would still be alive. And if you go a little further in life, when you turn 16 and your parents tell you not to drink and drive, but you do it anyways, and you have a wreck, and unfortunately you die, if you would have just obeyed your parents, you would still be alive. But that being said, there is a part that your parents oftentimes left out, and I know there are certain parents out there that make this extremely hard for their child to do, but they do not follow exactly what the Bible says, because if they just go on to verse 4, they would make it a lot easier on their children. So if you struggle with this, just listen to me. Let's go ahead and read the next verse. And it says, and you fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord. All right, so if your parents didn't fully obey what verse 4 says, let's go ahead and go over the first part. And you fathers, do not provoke your children to wrath. So this means the things that you do and expect of your child cannot be so overbearing that it simply just provokes your child to wrath. And ultimately their wrath is going to be directed towards you because you're the cause of the wrath. And when you provoke them to wrath, well, it's going to cancel out some of what the first part that we read was chapter 6 verses 1 through 3, talking about obeying and honoring your father. So if you provoke your child to wrath, don't expect this first part to come easy for that child. Even if they know that the Bible says this and they're a child of God and they actually try to follow what the Bible says, you will make it increasingly hard on them if what you are saying to them, what you're expecting of them, is just something that's so overbearing that it provokes them to wrath. Now, sometimes this can be done without intention, but you really have to analyze what exactly you're doing as a parent and align it with what the Bible says. Now, let's go ahead and read the second part. It says, but bring them up in the training and admonition of the Lord. I'm not going to lie to you. The admonition part, I had to look it up a little bit. Didn't quite understand what they was talking about at first. It's a word that you don't really hear that much. But as far as I can understand, training and admonition of the Lord is basically training and teaching your child the ways of the Lord, the ways of Jesus, the way to follow Jesus more closely, and the way to be more like Jesus each and every day. So if you're not provoking your child to wrath, not just, and you know, this could be things, because I know especially a lot of male parents and stuff probably out there, really try to get your child to like certain sports and like the things that you did growing up. But if you're leaving out the parts of teaching them about who the Lord is, and you're teaching them more about football than you're teaching them about God, you may have a little trouble out of that kid because they're not learning the values that they would learn if they were following Jesus more closely. Now, Yeah, it goes on with the first part too, provoking them to wrath. I mean, if they're just getting frustrated because they're not really into that sport and this and that, and you're just making it that much harder for that child to obey you. You need to teach your child to love God and to follow Jesus. And a lot of this other stuff will come easily. And the whole reason that I wanted to make this video is because a lot of times we quote one part of the Bible and do not follow the other part, but the second part is actually kind of a written playbook for the first part that we're quoting. And there will be other videos that I'm going to make where I'm going to go over something that you hear a lot of people say all the time, but they do not go over the second part, and the second part is so important because without the second part, without the quote of the second part or the following of the second part of that quote that should have been included, because if you tell your children to obey them, you should also be teaching them that, well, as a parent, it is my job to teach you who God is. And to ensure that as I teach you who God is, that I do not provoke you to wrath and the other things that I'm teaching you that are simply of this world. So, hope you understand a little bit better about what your father and mother were teaching you as a child, because I know growing up I heard this all the time, but I did not know nothing of the second verse. And maybe now that you know something of the second verse, if you quote this to your children, you have a better understanding of exactly what you need to do to make it easier on them. Alright, so that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video where I'll go over something that probably is quoted all the time, but you do not hear the second part of that quote. You do not actually get the full picture. And today I brought to you a verse that you've probably heard quoted but never actually heard the full picture of exactly what the Bible was talking about when it comes to obeying your parents and honoring your father and mother, because that is not always easy and sometimes it's for good reason. But keep a lookout for some more videos that I'm going to be doing, because I'm going to go over some more verses that you hear quoted like this, because there are quite a few. And if you have any verses that you know of that I could include in my videos, just go ahead and let me know in the comment section below. I'll review those and try to come up with a video, and maybe even mention whoever gave me the idea in the comments. I'll mention your name in the video so you get a little bit of credit for letting me know and helping me make content about God. So if you enjoyed the video, just give it a like, a subscribe, help share the channel, follow our Facebook, all those good things. But as always, keep on the full armor of God and hope you have a blessed day.